Washing Institute. Hey guys, we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit today about tiger striping with a surface cleaner. Um, there's a lot of reasons why the surface cleaner stripes, but I got to tell you that if, let's say, you are doing everything you're supposed to do and you wind up knocking your head out and you don't understand. People have told you to slow down. They've told you to post treat more. They told you to do this. They told you to do that. And it's still leaving lines. Ultimately, the reality of it is that you basically have this situation right here where the uh, the spray bar, as you can see on that spray bar right there, you can see that the bottom line is that you see the imperfection of the nozzle itself. This particular nozzle here, if you see that spray pattern, is not consistent of an even spray pattern. It might even be you might even say it's blowing a 0-degree tip in the center, and it really isn't even the center, because if you look out to the bottom of the screen here, you can see there's a zero pattern a little ways out. If you can see, the spray bar spraying out further on the edge towards the bottom of the video, and then there's a real thick bead, which I call a zero pattern, that you can see here with your eye. You can see one also on the center, or even multiple ones on the center, and you can see even another one on the other side of the spray pattern. This right here is a failing nozzle. I don't care what the reason the nozzle is failing. I don't care if the nozzle's failing because it's got something stuck in it. I don't care if the nozzle's failing if, let's say that there's an imperfection in the nozzle, and the nozzle's not the nozzle's not perfect, and it's not spraying an even pattern. You're going to wind up with an uneven cleaning no matter what you do. Now, some people recently have said, hey, lower the pressure. These types of things, and do more volume, these types of things are band-aids. It's like over treating or over post treating, over pre treating. If you run a surface cleaner, technically on not now, I always believe that you definitely should always pre-treat. Post treating, I don't know. That's kind of up in the air. It depends. I'm not going to be post treating though to cure a bad spray nozzle. Now let me go over this with you guys. This spray nozzle up here on the top is typically what most pressure washers come with. These type of pressure washers come with these type of nozzles. Why? It's a GP nozzle, and sometimes they're really good nozzles. How are you doing, Bruce? Sometimes they're really good nozzles, but what they don't do is they don't provide a real protective shield to protect that orifice. Okay, when the water is coming out of that vessel, as you guys saw here, and I'm going to go back to it, it's coming out. It's coming out with an uneven pattern, and that's right there is what's causing you to get a uneven cleaning. It's ultimately, that's all it is. Now, I'm going to play a video for you here that I want you to listen to. It's Michael Chrysley out of Kentucky, and I'm going to play that video. There's another way that you can get a uneven spray pattern. That's pushing the surface cleaner too quick. But I will tell you this, if you push the surface cleaner too quickly, you will get a very uneven pattern. I know that sounds kind of crazy. In other words, it's going to be very symmetrical and it's going to be the same. If you know that the spray pattern's bad, even when you push too quickly, you will see in the concrete that there's uneven cleaning even in the center of the bar. Now, here's what we're talking about. These are the two edges of the surface cleaner. These edges are always going to be clean on the edge of the surface cleaner, no matter what. Even if the nozzle is bad, it's going to be a clean surface on the outside edges, because the bar passes there more times, so it gets that area clean. You can hardly push a surface cleaner fast enough for it to fail cleaning the edges. Okay, but what will happen on the towards the middle, coming off the edges, when that round pattern is there, it'll be uneven even if the nozzle is bad. Now, when you look at Michael's video, which I'm going to show you guys here in a couple of seconds, and we're going to listen to it. It's not a very long video, so I'm going to go ahead and cue it up right now. And hopefully, I've never done this before, so hopefully this does work. I'm going to cue the video up to play big, and we'll see. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to listen to it.
Hey guys, it's Michael Chrysley again, First Choice Power Washing. I wanted to show you what we call a phenomena with using a surface cleaner. Is everybody wants to know why they're leaving lines on both sides. A lot of times it's simply an overlap where the surface cleaner did not clean properly the first time around, so when you come down the next line, you get an overlap. But it's inherent that these will always leave a nice line down both sides, and we know what this is right here. This is using the surface cleaner too fast. But I did this to show you the inherent property in a surface cleaner. Basically, as you see, it's going round and round.
Now, I want to stop that because we can see how even this pattern is. He's got a line there at
round
least
and round,
1 inch.
but if you go too fast, it skips a spot. Well, but you still also see down both edges, it doesn't.
And see how he points out that down both edges here on either side here are clean. Now, these are pretty good nozzles. I would say they're giving him a very even, uneven pattern because he's using the surface cleaner improperly. There's nothing wrong potentially with his surface cleaner or the nozzles. It's actually giving him an uneven cleaning just because he's pushing the surface cleaner too quickly.
Doesn't skip, because that edge will always have that tip on it at all times, and it overlaps it, so as it's coming up through there, it will always clean the edges better. So if your surface cleaner is not optimized, or you don't have very good flow, or you're going too fast, you're always going to end up with those lines. And even when it appears like your surface cleaner did do a good job and clean, then when you come back and overlap, you've still cleaned that a second time. So if it wasn't cleaned the first time properly, you're going to get that overlap. But this is one of the main reasons that you see this. Down both edges, you'll see that line is nice and clean.
And that's a pretty good example of or a reason why, when you have a surface cleaner and you've got all the equipment's running well and you're pushing it too quickly, you're going to get a uneven cleaning pattern. Again, when you have the problem, the only other thing that it is when you're getting those and you're pushing the surface cleaner slow enough or slow, you're pushing it slow because you're going very slowly, and you wind up and you're getting those patterns, and it's right here. It's simple, guys. It's an uneven spray pattern in there, and it's gonna and just like you guys are talking about, like he's talking about on the edges, you're gonna have more of a pass. You're gonna have an actual zero tip shooting out in the middle of the spray pattern. I picked this photo here. Somebody just put this up very recently, and it's showing a failing tip like nobody's business there. I mean, we can see on the bottom there's one spray pattern, two spray pattern. There might be two or maybe even three in the center, and then even one on the edge. I can't tell what the further nozzle's like because it's at a different angle, but that one there, you can clearly see that the spray pattern is not good. I'm going to put these nozzles up again for some of you guys that just joined me. I'm going to go ahead and throw them up in the thing here so that you guys understand the difference between these nozzles here. Well, Nate, not yet anything, but who knows? Later on tonight, you never know. Um, guys, this is the reason that surface cleaners fail, guys. And if you go ahead and you go ahead and get the spray nozzle here, guys. That is better. Spraying systems nozzles here have an orifice here. It's protected. You can see this one on the top is the type you should get. The GPs are good on the bottom, but they don't have any protection on the orifice. So that's what creates that problem for you. Running a surface cleaner, whether it's 1300 RPMs, 1800 RPMs, depending on the rotary union, you guys call them swivels, depending on the one that you have, it's going to change that factor. You're going very quickly underneath the hood of that surface cleaner. Hitting a small, tiny pebble, man, could mess up the orifice, and then the water coming through that vessel is going to wind up having an uneven spray pattern. And that's probably, other than operator error, that's 95% of the time what's wrong with the surface cleaner. It's not because you didn't pre-treat, post-treat, even though I recommend everybody pre-treats. It drives me nuts when somebody calls me, hasn't pre-treated, and they say, my surface cleaner is not working very well. A surface cleaner is going to work, anything's going to work more efficient if you pre-treat. And we're just talking with water. We're not talking necessarily you have to pre-treat with any type of chemicals. Pre-treating with water is always good. It's going to make your equipment work a little easier and a little bit more efficient and a little bit more effective. And if you do have nozzles failing, but because you are pre-treating it, it's going to make them work a little bit easier and be able to get through it, and potentially, you'll be able to get through the job. But stop with the nonsense of that you're doing all the post-treating, doing overkilling the pre-treating. If you're doing all these things and you're still getting them, you just need to look at the simple problem. If it's the nozzle, that's all it is, guys. It's the nozzle. Most guys don't understand that. I'm going to show it again, even so that everybody gets this through their head, and understands that that's what it is. Here we go again. We're going to the third time, fourth time in the video. This is a failing nozzle right there by the guy's toe. That one down on the lower part of the screen, that is a failing nozzle. Failing nozzle, guys. That's all that is. It's not, it's pretty common sense that if you've got a zero tip or a zero pattern in a nozzle that's 15 or 25 degrees, well, guess what? It's going to clean unevenly and it's going to tiger stripe the place up. Now, when we talked, as we watched in the video, and you need to go back to that, if you are using the equipment improperly and you are going too quickly, absolutely there's going to be a uneven spray pattern, but the spray pattern will be an uneven spray pattern, and we just showed that in the video, so you can go back and watch that, guys. Appreciate the time tonight. I hope some of this makes sense to you. It's so frustrating to me that so many people in the industry are just not understanding that it's this simple thing. And if you ever say, Ron, will I change my tips and it's still striping, you have to ask yourself this: did you buy all those tips in the same lot? In other words, did you order a dozen of them at the same time? Because guess what, guys? Tips can come bad. They really can. They can come bad. It means that they were done in a lot, and it means that when they were machined inaccurately, they were machined bad, and then you'll have to throw them all away because they don't work. Don't bother returning them. Just throw them away. Order some new ones. Get some good ones, get some clean ones. And then, you got to change these things often, guys. There's something that needs to be changed often. I hear guys all the time, I've never changed mine, or it's worked like that since it was new. And if it was new and it did that, it means that you had some really junk tips. You didn't have this GP down here, or the spraying systems nozzle that's up here. You had something that was really junk. And it doesn't matter what manufacturer it is, because manufacturers ship these out to distributors, sometimes without tips, and then they choose the tips that they sell them with because they don't want to have that extra cost of what the manufacturer charges to put the tips in. So don't blame the manufacturer, guys. Sometimes they have no control over what a distributor puts in it. I personally, if I owned a surface cleaning company, I would never, ever send them without tips. And I would only recommend this brand up here, Spraying Systems Nozzles. And guys, I don't sell these things. You can get these. I'll throw some links in, or you can throw some links in to where you can get them if you know your favorite dealer carries them. I don't care because I don't make any money off this. This is just a tip for the contractors. Always contractors first, guys. Pressure Washing Institute, Ron Musgraves. Don't forget, go to National Cleaning Expo, sign up for a free show. Looking forward to seeing some guys out there. Appreciate your guys' time. You guys have a great night. Ron Musgraves, Pressure Washing Institute.